So I think we've all heard by now that little Quentin Simon has passed away. Um, what I'm wanting to talk about is the grandmother. Do y'all remember a couple of days ago, just before they released the statement that Quentin was likely dead, that the grandmother burst into the babysitter's house screaming and ranting and raving and just so angry and screaming that the child was not dead and she was a bitch for wanting to hold a prayer vigil because the child was not dead and she thought the prayer vigil was a memorial, meaning that they were giving up. It was only a few hours later that that same woman was sending text messages saying, "He's in a landfill and my daughter did this." Now, so why was she so angry and wanting to fight just hours before on the same topic, whether or not the child was dead or alive? When she attacked the babysitter, she was still fighting in her mind to believe that her daughter would not do this. Part of her knew, part of that grandmother knew that her daughter had killed their child, but she didn't want to admit it because that would have changed her entire worldview. That would have flipped the switch in her mind that made her aware that she raised a child who murdered her own child. And this grandmother could not do that, could not accept it in her mind. So even though in her heart she knew that that child was dead and she knew that her daughter did it, she had to fight somebody else because she couldn't fight herself anymore. So she went after the babysitter. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it's not new. This is a very normal reaction for somebody fighting with these problems. My aunt is doing the same thing. She doesn't want to believe that her sister would have put her children in those situations. She doesn't want to believe that her mother would have allowed me to go with headlights for so long or would have been strict about my diet to an eating disorder situation. She doesn't want to believe that her family could do these things, and I won't stop speaking out about it and making it true. So she has to attack me. Instead of allowing herself to sit down and look at the facts and simply understand the truth, she has to attack the person that's telling the truth. That's the way these things work. Now, the difference is this grandmother is eventually going to come to her senses and probably apologize to that babysitter and understand that she was wrong. My aunt will never come to her senses. She will never accept that her family was in the wrong. She doesn't see me as her family. So she can use me as the scapegoat, belittle me, put me down, push me to kill myself. I'm not a person to her because I'm not her family. And I'm trying to make her see her family in a different viewpoint, and that's not acceptable.